Yo, what's going on, guys? Just wanted to jump on here to give my trade recap for today. Two trades today, both break even, and I will break down kind of like my thought process and why I thought that kind of way and things like that, and what kind of protective measures I have in place. Um, as I in my videos before, I always talk about that kind of follow through, right? When we get a clean closure above highs, not sweeping them. So yeah, I'll kind of break that a little bit more down today. Um, yeah, let's jump right into it. Yeah. I think right now, let's see if I can open YouTube. I don't know if it's down or not. Oh, it's still loading. Okay, cool. Cause there's like an outage right now. I've been seeing on TikTok. I'm not sure like that if that's global or not. But anyways, let's jump right into it. Yeah. So the first trade was taken on GU, right? So if we kind of do our top down, I'm marking out my jaws of liquidity for today. I did see that we had equal highs up here that would have made really good kind of liquidity to be taken, or a really good draw for liquidity, I would say. Um, but uh, yeah, really good draw for liquidity on the day. But I did mark out some lows as well, kind of these stacked rows. Um, and also this kind of major low down here, which was my only draws for today. I mean, I could have marked this could have been a target too up here. I just didn't think that we could do that in London session. Definitely a New York session kind of move there. But yeah, so my draws on liquidity was as low resistance lows and as high resistance low. Equal highs up here, as well as this high up here, which I didn't mark, but I did see this. Um, and you know, I thought this would be a really good draw for liquidity on the day. So my buys was buys. I'll get rid of this. My buys was buys just because Asia Sisha took out these lows. I expected some sort of reversal, or some sort of like bullish confluences, just because we've taken out all these lows now. So all these low resistance lows have been taken out, and it could be enough fuel to take out all these equal highs up here. So what did I wait for? I waited for some sort of displacement. Show me that buyers are there. That's the main thing. Show me that buyers are there, right? Uh, this doesn't matter now, but I'll change this just so the colors don't get too confusing. So, jumping right into it, we get that huge push up, right? After taking out these lows down here, or like the low resistance lows, we get a big push up, right? And in that we form an inverse here, inverse 5 minute here. Uh, we create a 5 minute gap, which is here. With that move up, we also inverse another gap, right? So when I see this, when I see two gaps and a big um, bullish close within these 5 minute fair value gaps, like I'm looking to go long, right? Because this is the kind of two kind of protective measures of people going short right here. People went short right here. Their stops are gonna be here, and when you see a move like this, they're like, okay, cool. They're waiting for this fair value gap to hit and then react to continue down lower, or even this fair value gap because it's still within this leg. So if this one fails, we still have to worry about this one. So they're worried about that. So when I see that we create a 5 minute gap, we inverse this gap here as well as this gap here and one close, yeah, I'm looking to go long, right? Just because pre-market took out all those lows, all the low resistance lows, and we start reacting from it when London session opens. Like I'm looking to go long to take out where Asia highs. So, um, the POI that we reacted from was this 5 minute small inverse here. Right, we broke the whip. We tapped it once, right, to take out these highs, and then we tapped it once again on this candle here. We tapped it once again, and that's where I decided to take a trade from, just because we did sweep out these highs. So I wanted to see whether we would continue down lower to fill in this 5 minute gap here, or even this 5 minute inverse, or will this 5 minute gap hold? But just because if we go from external to internal, unless we get a really bullish close above these highs here, that would have been confirmation that we were gonna come and take these highs up here. Um, so that second time we tapped it and we reacted from it, I went into the 1 minute, right? So with the 1 minute, I was looking to see whether um whether to see if this gap holds, right? This 1 minute fair value gap, which we got a sus close above it, but it was still above. But again, I still wanted to be patient and wait. We did get a close above, but I wasn't very convinced on this one. And I entered on this candle forming, right? So I see that buyers are starting to step in here. We made that bottom wick back into this. This would now be an inversion, right? 1 minute inversion. Where is it? This would be a 1 minute inversion now. We get that tap back into it, and we just start displacing up. I took a long, right? I took a long, but I put my stops very, very close to BE just because we had an unfilled 1 minute gap here. Um, but also we did come and take out these highs once again. Um, so I went BE at these highs as when we get a like equal highs like this, it could be two things. It's either a liquidity sweep, it's a very like probable liquidity sweep, or people sellers are trying to go short, and they're trapped in short, and buyers fully take over, and we fully rip to the upside to take out these highs up here. There's either two things, right? So to kind of protect myself, as soon as price hit this level here, I went break even already. Because at the end of the day, I could have aimed all the way up here, but again, um, for price to move that amount of pips in a session, you're kind of asking for too much. So I kind of just went for a 1 to 2 here. As if we did close above these highs strongly, and by Zit kind of take control here, definitely would have continued to take profit. I do think, um, but yeah, what's interesting is that we took out these highs and it played out as a liquidity sweep. Um, on the lower time frame. Give me 1 second. Yeah, that so it did act or it did become a like kind of lower time frame liquidity sweep. We had these 5 minute highs there, and we continue to kind of respect bearish confluences on the way down. But luckily, on the 5 minute, I did tell myself, hey, like this is a point of interest here, and if we don't continue to hold this level, I'm going break even, which was a good thing for me because what ended up happening is that we came down, took out these 5 minute highs and kind of, oh, what the hell is that? We took out these 5 minute lows down here and continued to rip up, I guess. But again, not enough to even take out Asia highs. So overall, like I would say, like I don't know, I would say a lot of buyers and sellers being trapped. But if we look on the 1 hour, we can say that we filled in a 1 hour gap here. But you know, um, one thing I've learned is that the 1 hour gaps sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, right? Like um, price likes to sort through liquidity first, especially when a session is opening. So I just prefer to do draws on liquidity and trade to it or away from it or something like that, to the next point of interest. Just because it's it kind of works for me rather than waiting for these 1 hour gaps to be filled, and sometimes majority of the time they don't really hold. So yeah, but yeah, this trade ended up not playing out. Right idea though, but like again, we're not close enough to take out these highs, and again, I protected myself. So if we were to rip up, it would either be, um, from here or as this order block here. But again, I did see that this 5 minute inversion was holding on the 5 minute, so I decided to take a trade, and I protected myself because we did have that huge rip up. Um, and again, unfortunately, it was acted on. It kind of was a liquidity sweep here. Um, a lower time frame liquidity sweep here. But again, I protected myself, so I'll take that. I'll take that. Take the break even. I'd rather be break even than at loss. So yeah, that is the trade on GU. Next trade was on gold, right? So um, hourly confluences were these highs up here and these lows down here. Um, I was really oh sorry, this is the low as well. But yeah, I had a lot of draws to the downside, so I was kind of like when I did look during Asia, I was like, okay, cool, we can probably catch something, um, within in London session to take out these low resistance lows down here. Um, oh, yeah, these two low resistance lows. Maybe not this one, but price sometimes like to seek that. But yeah, the only buy side draw was this hourly high up here, or 4 hour highs, or kind of all these stacked highs here. But yeah, this was the main target. Just because we did have an unfilled fair value gap up here as well. Um, we could have that huge push up, take out these highs, tap into this fair value gap to continue down low again. So that was the draw. And honestly, like while I was waiting for GU to form, I was kind of looking to see what gold was doing, right? So gold, I see that we have a huge rip up, right? Like we're unable to take out any of these lows, but we did get a huge push up, so that means okay, where we're likely heading to, right? We're likely heading to take out these highs up here. So I was patiently waiting for a retracement back into a 5 minute fair value gap here. A two was formed, but I did get the reaction out of the first one. Um, the second one was formed, but again, if we took the trade here, um, yeah, if we took the trade here at the time, this fair value gap was holding. So, um, yeah. Um, and same kind of thing here, right? I see that we have some 5 minute highs up here, um, and that we haven't broken through yet. But this one I got broke even pretty quickly. Um, yeah, I went to break even really quickly on this one. But again, same kind of idea here, like draws on liquidity for the day, and trade towards it or away from it. In this case, we're going towards it. We should have been away from it. It would have been a cleaner trade if we took out all these kind of sell side liquidity down here before to continue longs again, because that would really confirm it. But again, we market doesn't give us what we want every day. We just have to, you know, trade and what price delivers every day. So, yeah, I did see that we get a huge push up. Buyers are kind of taking control here. Yeah, waited for a pullback into this 5 minute gap here, and then with that, I went into the 1 minute. Right. So, same kind of idea here. I was just looking for a gap to inverse. So this was the last gap produced before we made that leg down and took out these lows. So I waited for this to fold, which this became an inverse now. Um, and I waited for a closure above, right? We didn't get it on this candle, unfortunately. it would have made better but I did enter on this candle being formed, so I just see that we have a huge push up, right? We get a huge push up, and like a couple seconds before the candle closed, bullish like this, I did enter, just so I know if like we did get a bullish close here. When I do that, like kind of entering before the candle close, it's always like a couple seconds before, just because I know, on the 1 minute, it can't drop this many pips, in a matter of, three, 3 to like 5 seconds, it can't really do that. It's rare that that happens, but, it happens sometimes, but it happens. Um, but again, same kind of model here, continuation model, 5 minute gap here, wait for a 1 minute inversion, to tell us that hey, like the short-term downtrend is over, buyers are now taking control, which is what we got in this candle. So I entered a couple seconds before this candle closed up here, which is here, and again, BE was at these highs, right? Because it's like this area here is some form of support, right? Like it's some form of support. Like people who trade supply and demand, like this would be a supply or demand or whatever it is. This would be a supply or demand area. This would be a demand area like here. Things like that. A lot of people trading different strategies, but I like the fair value gaps just because we displace from it. We're not kind of looking for a um, reversal from the supply areas or demand areas. Like we're within the trend, we're within current structure, moving with the buyers, the heavy buyers or sellers. That's why I prefer fair value gaps and inversions. You know, because at the end of the day, all strategies are supply and demand. Oh, remember that all strategies are some form of supply and demand, right? Yeah. So once again, a couple seconds before this candle close, I did enter, and we get the huge push up. We take out these highs, but again, I was already at BE, so we took out these highs, and on the same candle, on the same 1 minute candle, it stopped me out. And honestly, I was happy with that. Honestly, I don't mind because again, like the trades that I do win, we get that continuation straight away. It's not we're not kind of looking for highs to be taken or anything like that. Like once we displace from a gap, we should be displacing all the way up to hourly highs or whatever highs. But again, 5 minute highs do matter, especially when you're trading on the 1 minute. Um, when we get it, you can consider this even a liquidity sweep on the 1 minute, because what did we do? We literally came, tapped it, and then we get that displacement down again. So that's it's like a short time kind of liquidity sweep. But again, the trades that I do win, we cut straight through it. So I'll kind of draw it out for you guys. But we get that pull up, we get a small retracement, or not even retracement. Sometimes we kind of push through it with momentum, or majority of the time we push through it through momentum, and then since I'm already protected because we had this huge closure above, right? Price just continues to rip. That's kind of like what the trade kind of looks like. But yeah, that's what kind of like what I'm looking for. But when I see that, we're unable to close above these highs strongly, like it's already a bad sign. So, went BE really quickly, really really quick. So this trade ended in like 30 seconds. I swear to God. But yeah, it's interesting how price moves. Not every day you'll win. Trade the same strategy, but not every day you'll win. But on days you're supposed to lose, what are ways we can mitigate it? How do we cut losses down, and how do we um stop kind of price, going against our, like, how do we protect capital? That's what I'm trying to say. How do we protect capital? And this is, a good way to do it when you're looking at 5 minute highs. Either buyers take control and we step right in, to continue on the trend to take out these hourly highs, or we continue to chop up and price isn't ready to continue yet, and that's fine. We just won't be a part of it. It's just what it is. But again, if we see like what the next couple of hours did, we've really just chopped, like we really just chopped here. We did get a huge sweep of these lows, tapped into this 5 minute gap, and now displacing from it. But again, I'm not gonna be in the charts for that long. I'm not gonna be, I'd rather just take my trade in the first hour or two, win or loss, rather than waiting for a setup like this. It's just gonna take a long time. Uh, but again, happy with the results today. Happy how I mitigated, my losses. Like these two should have been some losses for today. But I stuck to my plan, right? I stuck to my plan, and once we take our highs, we should continue to displace from them. But yeah, nothing much you can do. You can only go on what price is doing, and if it doesn't go in your way, how do we mitigate losses? That's the best way to put it, right? But those are the two trades for today. I hope you guys trading is going well so far. Always remember God. Um, all glory to Him, of course. Wouldn't be in this position if it wasn't for Him. All glory to Him. Um, and yeah, I hope you guys have a great, great day or night or sleep or whatever time zone you guys are in. I hope you guys have a good night. Yeah, peace, peace, peace.